Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I decided to show you something slightly different. It's not a fighting games related content, but it's something cool nevertheless. So recently HBO's show Chernobyl became very popular. It has very high ratings and a lot of people seem to love it, although part of that is probably because a lot of people were very upset for the last series of Game of Thrones in season 8, and since HBO's Chernobyl came out, the first two series in the show came out around that time, around the time of the dissatisfaction with Game of Thrones. A lot of people started paying attention to HBO's Chernobyl, and it became very popular. And later on it became popular on its own because it's actually very good. So I'm going to say this straight up: if you like HBO's Chernobyl, you should definitely 100% try out this game. This game is called Mother Russia Bleeds, and it's what you just see straight up. It's a beat 'em up game in which you play in the exact same time period. It's SSSR, it's the Soviet Union, not exactly present day Russia, but it has all the typical tropes related to Russia and to Eastern Europe in general. You can even bash people's head in with a toilet seat, as you can see right now, and here you are crushing some dude bros right, and they will come out and try to bash your head in. And it's a very funny game. The actual story takes place exactly in 1986, exactly like HBO's Chernobyl. So it's very thematic. You also have this like mob with like junkies who are jamming to hard bass. You also have, there is a lot of gore in this game. You have 4 playable characters. This is the chick, her name is Natasha. She's very fast and very agile. All the characters in the game have somewhat similar combos. There is no level up system, but you have a lot of pickup weapons and a lot of interesting levels in which, for example, here you're fighting the bad, corrupt Russian army in these like riot settings. You have an auto scroll here, as you can see, and you are fighting on the side of the quote-unquote rebels, and you're fighting the corrupt army and the corrupt guys in the government. You also have like these street mobs and like these street gangsters with all the typical Eastern Europe atmosphere behind it. It's a super cool and fun game. It came out in 2016. It's on the PS4, PC, Xbox One, and in 2018 it came out on Nintendo Switch as well. So I definitely recommend you to check on this game. As for HBO's Chernobyl show itself, I think it's very good. Like the outfits, the buildings, the cars, the lighting overall in that show is amazing. This is one of the other characters. It's called Sergey. He's almost like a squatting swab or something. Here you can see you can bash their heads in with a barrel. You also have this like stat and meter that is called Necro. It's like a special drug that gives you a boost, but it can also heal you. And yeah, the game is very fun for sure. But back to HBO's Chernobyl. So I can see and understand why people from Eastern Europe and Russia and the neighboring countries will love the show. This is another character called Ivan. This level, by the way, is insane. Just look what's happening in the background. You also have this NPC here, which helps you. It's like a sadomaso guy or something. I don't really understand. But I'm very curious to hear and try to understand what people in the Western countries think about the show, not just for its like production value, but overall about the story, because I can really understand why people from Eastern Europe and Russia will like it because of the very authentic atmosphere. But what do you guys think about the show? Do you like the story and the atmosphere? It's presented very good. Like I haven't seen any movie that presents Eastern European like culture and like overall visuals from that period in a more authentic way. But I also see a lot of people online that are liking the story and are actually consider HBO's like Chernobyl to be like almost like a horror movie, because and I can see that because of in some regards it was really a horrible story. Like I was very little around that period of time, but I still remember my mother's expression on her face when she talked about it, and how she I don't remember it of course, but how she told me not to play in the grass because it was dangerous. Of course, all of us in other countries in Eastern Europe got the message about the incident a lot later, and Europe in general came very close to a very like big disaster that may have changed not only the continent but overall the world's history for the past 20 years. And in that regard, HBO's Chernobyl I think is a really good show that really sheds light on that incident to a broader audience, which I think is very important. Also, it's pretty hilarious that the Russian state, from what it seems, consider this show to be a propaganda. It's actually the same word in Russian. It's called propaganda, which is the same as in English. And they are making their own Chernobyl show. I saw the trailer for it, and it's of course very authentic in terms of the characters are speaking Russian, but the music in the trailer is actually from Crysis 2. So I don't know what's about that. Like it's the official trailer, and the music in it, it's from Crysis 2. I'm going to include that in the first comment below the video. You're going to see the trailer itself, and then I'm going to put down the specific theme from Crysis 2, and you can see how it's the same. It's very hilarious and very typical in some regards. But when it comes down to this type of quote-unquote propaganda, I don't want to get into the political spectrum of things, but just wanted to say that in the late 80s and even in early 90s, I think, a lot of people from the EX Russian bloc, that means countries that were sovereign near Soviet Russia, had on Friday evening every week, they had the news, okay, news at around 8 o'clock that were in Russian language. And also after the news there is usual follow-up with a Russian movie that is about, of course, the Second World War and some heroic act by the Russian military in that period of time. So I think this is a very like interesting little piece of like fact and information that might be curious to you. I don't know, like I said, tell me what you think. If you're from America or from any like Western country, tell me what you think about the show, and do you like it? What do you think about the story? I'm very curious to hear what people in the West think about it. Yeah, personally I liked it a lot. I also immediately thought about the Mother Russia Bleed the game, which is like super thematic, man. Like there is no game that can get you into that mood for that particular show other than Mother Russia Bleeds. Here I'm once again in the disco when you can like fight these bouncers and gangsters. There are also guys like squatting swaths and all these typical things. It's very funny and cool game. Okay, I also loved HBO's Chernobyl, and I'm very curious to see what the Russian version of this series will be. We'll definitely check it out. But yeah, I love the show, but comparing it to Game of Thrones is a little bit ridiculous in my opinion. I mean, both shows are very different with very different idea and the overall like environment and characters and story and arcs and stuff like that. Like I said, I think the only reason that people are comparing it to Game of Thrones is because the first series came out during the season 8 of Game of Thrones, and people were pissed off, obviously, and just wanted to like express certain dissatisfaction by saying that HBO's Chernobyl is a better movie. But I think it's really different, and although it's very good, but different nevertheless. And yeah, this is it, guys. Thanks for watching this video till the end. Tell me what you think about HBO's Chernobyl, and if you have a chance, definitely try out Mother Russia Bleeds. This game is insane. It's very cool, it's very interesting, it's very fun to play. It was created by the developer Le Cartel, and it was distributed by, of course, one of the best indie games publishers out there, the Yerati Distribution. So I definitely will encourage you to check it out. I don't think it's very expensive, so you will have a lot of fun with this game. Just trust me. Okay, once again, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.